Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review, and today we're going to be looking into this album's 10-year anniversary, and I never really talked much about this band or this album on my channel, no, and it's from a supergroup, and hard to believe this is now 10 years old. It's a sequel to the title. Today we're going to be looking into Times of Grace, and more in particular, their debut album, The Hymn of the Broken Man, which was released on January 18th, 2011 through Roadrunner Records. Now, for those of you who don't know who Times of Grace are, this is a little super group that has Adam D from Killswitch Engage and also Jesse Leach, who was then a former member of the band, but till a couple years later he actually rejoined. And like a year or two after this album came out, he rejoined Killswitch. Yeah, and basically how this band started was I've heard it was around that time, like years prior to this album, like Adam D had hurt his back and stuff, and he had like some different songs he was working on, and he actually had contacted Jesse Leach, and they were like in contact, and then started like working on songs and writing the songs, and this was actually like a couple years in the making. Yeah, and then finally they had some time off, but like Killswitch didn't really do anything throughout 2010 or 2011, and so it was around that time that Jesse and Adam decided to do this album or this little project, Times of Grace. And this album, I feel like in my opinion, I feel like this could have been like the follow up to Alive or Just Breathing in a way. And also kind of this album could have been like a launch into like what would later become a masterpiece of Killswitch Engage, being The Song of Descent. And the one thing to note is like Adam D, like a lot of people when you see him Killswitch Engage live, and I've seen Killswitch live 4 times. A lot of people would think Adam D is just a really goofy, funny guy that always wears like weird shit on stage and acts all silly and stuff, but really he's really serious about about music, like in the songwriting, composition, like arrangements. He pretty much knows like all of this like music theory and stuff, and he also is a producer. He produces pretty much a lot of like albums, either be Killswitch or Times of Grace, this album, and like a bunch of other bands he's in. And Jesse Leach, in my opinion, I think he's one of the best vocalists I've heard, and his vocals just, he puts like, especially when he does his like screaming and shouting, and when he does his clean vocals, he puts like a lot of like thought, like emotion and everything into it. And same thing with like Adam D, like I feel like he also does like the vocals as well, and he actually plays all the instruments, all the guitars, bass and drums on here. It just really shows you how well Adam D can do well, and his voice I feel like really just complements Jesse's, and just the way that the two melt together is just fucking amazing. So, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is Strength in Numbers. Now, this song starts off with a very powerful intro with sort of like usage of like marching, and then Jesse Leach sort of comes in with speaking like a powerful message, more in the lines of like one hope, one chance, one everything. And then just builds up and it just kicks right in, and then Jesse just goes right in. And then the chorus just like hits you right in the feels, and I feel like being like we're all in this together, and I feel like this is a song is especially appropriate during these times, especially within the whole pandemic that we're in. And this song, it's a really great way to start this opener, and I think it's an excellent way. Like this is how you should start off an album. Great way to start it off. And then we move on to Fight for Life. Now this song starts off with a bass intro that just sounds very raw, very dirty, and almost very atmospheric and this is pretty much where it focuses less on sort of like the arrangements and sort of like lets like the notes and like instrumentation sustain, and it really has some emotional vocals from Jesse, and he really has like the power behind his voice, and it just feels very more organic and very natural sounding. Next song on here is Willing. Now this song pretty much brings back sort of like the optimism in full force, and this song is mostly clean vocals. It's just sounds very peaceful and more happy sounding, despite like the instrumentation just sounds very heavy and very dirty sounding. And I feel like it's a great song pretty much from start to finish. I really love how Adam D does like his vocals as well, and his voice really just supports Jesse here. Where the Spirit Leads Me, and this in my opinion is like the most much heavier song on here. Then the first two songs had like sort of like aggressive kind of like elements in here, but this song also has more of a powerful chorus as well, almost kind of melodic, and the verse has full on aggression. And it's this song is just pretty much like night and day. Great song. Until the End of Days. Now, this song has a lot of contrast here, and this is pretty much where Adam D takes the spotlight with his vocals, and I honestly think he should do more singing, especially in Killswitch, and whenever Times of Grace comes back and does a follow-up to this album. And I feel like Until the End of Days, this song has like really slow tempo and very good atmosphere. And it sort of like creates a narrative and a story behind it, and it's just a very beautiful song. Live in Love. Now, this is pretty much where we get the optimism and sort of the aggression all packed in one. Has some really great melodic riffs that lead you in, and has Jesse in the chorus, and just the chorus just once it kicks in is just full on aggression. And I, when you hear this song, I thought it would be kind of like a ballad, but it's has the aggression to it, but also has a beautiful kind of emotional vibe to it, which makes it pretty interesting and stands out. In the Arms of Mercy. Now, this is kind of like a little instrumental track. Now, you could either put it as either like an outro to this album or as like a little kind of interlude. And this song itself isn't really a filler. It's more beautiful and more positive, and it's kind of like serves as when you like miss someone, and sort of like brings back the good times. At least that's from when I get to it behind it musically. And it feels like it just brings back memories, and it just creates a lot of emotion and atmosphere, and it just makes you miss someone, makes you wish reminiscence of the good times, especially like I mentioned earlier. Like, I feel like this could have been like a soundtrack back to like the like pre-pandemic, like just before shit went downhill. It's just a great song. And then we go into the title track, Hymn of a Broken Man. Now, this is pretty much where it sort of like takes a more darker and more melancholic mood here. And the lyrics just give me goosebumps and just chills down my spine when I hear this. And just really just shows sort of like a hopeless side of Jesse. And it feels like it's a bit personal as well. And it shows the darker side of Jesse. And I also love how Adam does his like own spin on vocals as well. Well, it just gives me a really great song. And then we thought we were getting like some different things, but the one song I'd love to talk about is the Forgotten One. Now, this song is just a full night and day change, and this song is an acoustic song. And we've got so far a mix of like heavier moments with like clean vocals, aggressive moments, like etc. But here is where things get really interesting. It sort of like leads in with a bluesy acoustic intro, and I feel like Jesse's vocals at the beginning kind of like start soft here, but they just build up more. And it's just a really peaceful and very beautiful emotional song. It just gives you tears in your eyes when you first hear this. At least in my eyes it did, or ears. I don't know. It's a great song. It just really just showcased the musicianship behind Jesse and Adam. They can do no wrong. Then we move on to Hope Remains. Now, this starts off with some subtle strumming on a guitar with a very kind of like a positive vibe, and then Jesse unleashes a sick scream that just goes right in your face. And it has like kind of like that hardcore grit, and it shows through too. And a lot of people don't know is like Jesse Leach kind of like grew up with like the hardcore scene, especially Killswitch, but coming from like that whole Massachusetts area where they were from. And this has a song also, but Hope Remains is a great song, and it also has a really great chorus. It just sounds very positive and very uplift sounding. Another great song. Then we move on to The End of Eternity. Now, this song kind of like shows has a I can't even speak today, has a slow atmospheric vibe to it, and it also has very a post-apocalyptic vibe to it, like feeling like you're just alone in this world. And I especially love the vocals from Jesse and Adam, and they just like the way they harmonize together gives it that atmosphere here. Worlds Apart. Now, this pretty much shows sort of like a glimpse of like optimism, and Jesse's vocals leads right in. It just gets louder and louder as the song progresses. Has some intense riffs, and this song is just predominantly clean vocals. And I honestly feel like this should have been the way to end this album if you don't count the last song. If this song, if the last song, Falls from Grace, didn't end this album, I thought would be okay with it, but not to say that this song itself is bad, but yeah. But anyway, moving on to the actual last song on the album, being Falls from Grace. Now this song is very unsettling, and the majority of this song is pretty much sung by Adam. And I feel like I mentioned before, Adam D, as well as like a great instrumental player, like he plays guitar, bass, and drums. I feel like he's a really great singer on this song, and this song pretty much shows the case that it pretty much sings the greatest chorus, and it really just shows an emotional side really from him, and of course Jesse as well, just really just pull all the punches to end this album. Now overall, Hymn of the Broken Man by Times of Grace is a great album, a little great debut project for this band. I'm really hoping that they do some more stuff. I heard that they are. I really would love to see them back again. So yeah, that's my review of the album, guys. If I had to give this album a score, I'm probably gonna give this a solid 10 out of 10. It's a fucking great album. Like, even 10 years later, it still holds up. So yeah, that's my review of Times of Grace's The Hymn of the Broken Man, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video, and what do you guys think about the album? I'm curious to know, but anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you all in the next video, and as always, keep it metal.